All right, everyone, welcome back to episode 3 of the Warhammer Enjoyer podcast, where I am here with AJ today again.
Ew, how's it going, everybody?
And we're talking about the what we're all here for today, and that's very obvious. Obviously, going to be the new Warhammer Underworlds. Let's be honest, no one gives a shit about any of this stuff. Um, a lot has happened in the span of like a week here. This just started about Death Guard stuff. Literally an hour ago, the entire Death Guard Codex got leaked onto the Death Guard subreddit. We're here to talk about the Death Guard leaks, but the first big thing I want to talk about in changes for just the overall state of 40k is the Demon Allies update. It has been confirmed with the updates to these. I was going to say Children of Slanesh, the Emperor's Children, that outside of the dedicated demon detachment, you can no longer ally demons in cult legions. This is Nurgle, Tzeentch, Slanesh, and Khorne. Um, Obviously posted by the screenshots here. We also do have links down in the description for sources. Um, I think this stinks. AJ, what do you think?
Uh,
Hey everyone, post production Jordan here, and I'd like to apologize for this edit. Me and AJ were talking about misinformation, and I just decided to cut it out. We were both disappointed that you cannot run demons in any detachment besides the demon specific one. The misinformation that we were spewing were incorrect allocations of how many points of demons you can run in the demon one. Incursion, you can bring up to 500 points of demon. Strike Force, you can bring up 1,000. And Onslaught, you can bring up to 1,500. Thank you, and sorry for this interruption. Back to the podcast. Spoiler alert, all the Death Guard leaks are right. We have lost cultists, and not being able to run Nurglings in just any other lift is going to really suck for like early point contesting and screening, which does bring us. I just wanted to touch on this point very briefly because, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Death Guard Codex list. It's the whole fucking thing. I was just a smidge excited for this, just a little bit, just a little bit. I've been geeking all week to talk about this. From Sunday, all the posts that have been done, all the, glory to Nurgle. Uh, this is what we've been waiting for, and I'm fucking pumped. I'm so fucking
Not
pumped for this, dude.
surprising in the
I'm
slightest.
geeking just talking about this. So let's just get right into it. Um, the big one, the Reddit post that this was posted down to is going to be linked down below. We also have a works cited page. Uh, the on the left is going to be the current Minotaurum list that I was able to pull, and on the right is the screenshot from the new Codex. To no one's surprise, and as we'll talk about later, all the Codex rumors have been confirmed. Point increases across the board for Blight Lords, Plague Marines, which I talked about in episode 2, I believe, um, and Poxwalkers. Typhus, I don't know. I think that does say 105. I really think that over there. Much needed points increase from that because Typhus at 80 points was crazy. But point increases across the board. I think they seem pretty balanced, right, AJ? Any thoughts, opinions on that?
I really don't have much thoughts and opinions on this. Overall, like everything really got like a small buff in points,
They
maybe
killed my
around
Mythetic
five.
Blight Haulers, bro. I don't know why the fuck those things are 110 points. Oh, you can't even bring 3 of them anymore.
Nope, you cannot bring three of them anymore.
Dog
The
shit
only thing that,
Codex, start over.
yeah, of course, you already like that. It's like you were just
Dog shit Codex.
gassing it
Bringing
up,
3
and
of
now you're
those
like,
to a game was
oh
so good, but we'll
no.
talk about that later. This whole podcast is going to be dedicated to the Death Guard Codex.
Oh,
But
of course,
anything
it's gonna be
anything you want to say?
dedicated to. Well, the only thing really, to me at least, that looks like got a major hit was Mortarion. Mortarion went up 100 points, which, I mean, otherwise, there's not really a whole lot different. I will say I am kind of shocked that you guys lost Cultists and a lot more of your generic, CSM units. Like, there's no more
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Chaos Lord, like, Death Guard Chaos Lord, Death Guard Terminator, Death Guard, and like,
Yeah, all that shit.
Chaos,
Death Guard
yeah,
Sorcerer and
Librarian.
Terminator armor.
Yeah, there's none of
This,
that.
yeah, it does kind of
Wh-
suck, but my counterpoint to that is what I'm about to show. I don't think I think from the non-Chaos Space Marine, like the non-Death Card Chaos Space Marine stuff, doesn't matter anymore. Losing cultists is gonna suck though, because losing cultists, means losing cultists and Nurgling means early board contesting is gonna be really hard. Also like like not only for road blocking but also just fucking and stopping my opponent from coming up the board. Because spoiler alert, everything has additional toughness. Everything hits a bit harder now. Um, but we're still slow as shit. And Plague Marines and Rhinos went up in points, so it's gonna be very interesting to see board contesting without screening units or anything that I can get on the board turn one onto objective markers. It's just gonna be interesting to see the state of comp play, uh, and just like casual games too. It's interesting that the points didn't go up too hard because Death Guard was at a 51% win rate, and I thought they would have been a little bit more aggressive with this. But with your point with Mortarion, let's just go right into it. Um,
Yeah, I
we're
figured
gonna
we'd go
go
right
over
into
every
Mortaria.
unit in depth here. So right off the bat, Mortarion is not getting a toughness increase at all. Um, but just looking at uh, damage profiles, looks like they switched shit. Nice. So everything on the list is on the left is gonna be from the leaks. Everything on the right is gonna be taken from Wapedia. I literally made this entire presentation like 5 minutes, like 30 seconds ago. Um, it looks like because in the Death Guard Codex leaks, it said Mortarion was gonna be able to kill a shit ton of people. um he's just a plague marine killer, or there's just like a space marine killer. um and it looks like it actually is going to be silence with a strike, going from lethal hits to dev wounds with lethals. um d6 plus 1 damage is very interesting, especially going from 4 guaranteed damage to d6 plus 1. It's gonna be a lot more like swingy. But it looks like the sweep though does a fuck ton more damage. It's up to strength 8 from strength 7. It has an additional AP. It's now 2 damage a pop with sustain hits 1. Normal plague marines or normal space marines have 2 wounds, right?
Uh, Wait, normal Space Marines?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Wait, no. If I'm right, I think it's 3 wounds. If I
No way,
remember off
normal
the top of my
space
head,
marines.
I want to just make sure because I probably am
We should
talking
have
out of my
probably
ass.
looked at this. Yeah, go pull up your app, Lamau. I mean, my Death Guard Plague Marines are 2 wounds. So this thing is basically guaranteed. Pull up just like the normal stats of
Yeah,
a
2 wounds. You are
2
correct. Two
wounds, and
wounds.
what's the toughness on that?
Toughness 4.
Yeah, so this thing is wound, wounding on, hitting on twos, wounding on twos, any wounding on anything but ones, wounding, fucking hitting on anything but ones, wounding on anything but ones, -2 AP. So that turns a 3-up save into a 5-up. Um, damage to like that is just killing so much shit. It's nuts. The Mortarion's gonna hit like a fucking truck. Um, what do you think, AJ?
I mean, I'm not surprised that they had to do something for Mortarion because in general Primarchs this edition have been kind of lackluster.
Yeah,
Mind you,
yeah.
obviously not everybody got their Primarchs yet. Fulgrim's now only finally coming out. Mortarion's about to get an update, and all the rest of the Chaos Legions are about to get their updates. So we've only got the Loyalist Primarchs. And ah, the Lion is still mixed in my opinion. I don't feel like he's a need to run. He's more or less a well, if you really want to, but it's going to be difficult too. I love Mortarion's sweep. The 15 attacks is nasty.
Yeah,
Plus
it's
hitting on twos,
yeah.
strength 8.
Yeah, hitting on twos, wounding on twos is gonna be nice for just killing Space Marine
That's
Traff. Um,
awesome. I mean, obviously, the strike is also awesome because
I don't know.
D6
I'm
plus.
kind of mixed on the strike. I think
I
I
can
think having
understand that
D6 plus
because
1 is gonna make it super swingy, and that's gonna be very interesting.
that's fair, but again, strength 14, D6 plus 1 plus AP minus 3. That is very nice. If you can manage to land all those hits, which isn't impossible, because mind you, hitting on twos,
Hmm.
um, you got something that really can just clean up like any big foe. Plus, I mean, it still has the toughness 12, like, wound
Um,
16, all that.
Lantern.
I don't have what?
Nope. Keep going.
I don't have much to really add on to here when it comes to just like
Some
melee and range.
Yeah, some of these abilities too, I think justify Mortarion's 100 point increase. Because coming from a Death Guard player perspective, Mortarion was just a support piece. His ignore modifiers and stats and modifiers uh, aura is gone, so that's confirmed. But it's been replaced with oh my god, I don't even know where to begin with this, dude. This shit is insane. First of all, host of plagues. At the end of your movement phase, roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within 6 inches of this model, adding 1 to the result. If the enemy unit is inflicted on a 3-up, that enemy suffers d3 mortal wounds. That is just free damage. And then the Lord of the Death Guard abilities have been pretty good. His old ones, Miasma Pestilence was like sort of okay. The disease influenced was eh. Toxic Presence is okay, but these new abilities are disgusting, dude. Diseased Influence, just after an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fallback move within 9 inches of a friendly Death Guard unit that is within 6 inches of this model. If that Death Guard unit is not within engagement range of one or more enemy, it can make a normal move up to 5 inches. Um, so it just gets to walk up, if I'm reading that
I
right.
mean,
It just gets to walk
I
up.
got like,
The boon of
yeah.
death in the fight phase when a friendly Death Guard unit within 6 inches of this model is selected as the target of this attack. This model can use this ability if it does until the end of the phase. Each time a model in that Death Guard unit is destroyed by a melee attack, if that model has not fought this phase, roll 1d6 on a 2-up, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks and then is removed from play. We've seen that before. But the Inflamed Reprisals is an interesting one. In your opponent's shooting phase, when a friendly Death Guard unit within 6 inches. So notice for all of these, it's within. They have removed the wholly within um, keyword. Well, like it wasn't on the old
Yeah, no, it's
Mortarion,
not now wholly
but like
within
but
like
like
the
you
inches.
can you
It's
can kind of
within.
just sneak Mortarion, like tuck one Plague Marine in this aura. But this one's nutty, dude. Um um after that unit that shoots makes an attack, the Death Guard unit gets to shoot back if it was in your shooting phase. Obviously, you can only shoot back at that unit, but that's just free shooting. I think the new abilities coupled with stronger melee, and some new. I think Mortarion is. I don't know. I don't know if he's worth the 400 points, but I think he is very much more no longer a utility piece that Death Guard have been using him for. I think he's something that you can bring to games now. Um,
I dare say, honestly, Mortarion here is like it's not really like an optional like piece. Like this is now could be something that is ran by a lot of Death Guard now players nowadays. Because I know even
it's
though it's
not an
400 points,
optional
it's
piece. It
still
could be ran. That's counter. That's you're contradicting yourself. I think
yeah.
going. I
Sorry.
think I
Okay.
think I think Mortarion's going from a tech piece to something that's actually viable on the board now.
Right. He's a very viable unit now. Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No.
what I meant. He's a very viable unit now. Uh, just as is like before, like kind of like tentacle piece, right?
Mhm.
Now very viable. And now we move on to the second best unit in all of Death Guard,
Arguably the
Typhus.
best unit. Typhus has suffered not su- he's yes suffered 25 point increase. I don't know if it says 100 or 105 on the on the leak, but Typhus looks like this is all live reactions, by the way. I haven't looked at any of this before this. Looks like he's still got his Eater Plague. Looks like he's still got his Destroyer Hive, which is nice. Still get the Bite Blast from him. Looks like his melee profile is exactly the same. However, he's got one more toughest, ladies and gentlemen. We're all getting tougher. That's all I have to say about Typhus. The point increase, no shit. An 80 point thing where you can just do 6 mortal wounds to something is absolutely fucking stupid. Anyone who complains on the Death Guard subreddit about this being, oh, they killed Typhus, I don't think so. I think Typhus is still going to be ran. The new Poxwalker detachments look good. He's nasty. The Death Shrouds are nasty. This whole thing is just nasty. I have nothing more to say. I'm not surprised at the point increase. Him having +1 toughness, awesome.
I would also like to note that he technically now also has more attacks because in the Codex leak here, he
Oh,
has
he
6
does.
attacks for
Yeah,
his
yeah, he
strike.
does. His strike gets +1 and he has 2 more sweeps. That's pretty nice actually.
Yeah, so like I'll give that props. I also think like he really improved. I can't fully read like his new Eater Plague for
It's the same.
Psychic,
It's the same.
but I was gonna say yeah, it looks like it's the
Yeah.
same. So there's not much here. Like I would say Typhus has really improved, and even if it's 20 points, which I know Jordan, you're crying in your heart of hearts,
No, I'm
but
not.
to our viewers,
I'm swear I'm not. I'm
you
more
are.
upset about the
I know.
pathetic blind hauler changes than anything. And that's like such a
Oh,
keynote. All right, we might have looked at this list a little bit. No, Typhus,
but
beautiful.
yeah, no, but Typhus, solid pick.
Onto the Demon Prince on legs. Like I said, we're going over everything. Pretty much, it's got some new abilities. It's moving a little bit faster. One more movement, 8 compared to 7. One more toughness. Um, it's it's got some new abilities though. While this model's within 3 inches of one or more friendly Death Guard infantry units, this model has lone op. Sweet. Does a good shot off the board. Fevered Strategist, once per battle round, one model from your army with this target, once per battle, one model from your army with this ability can use it when a friendly Death Guard unit within 12 inches of this model is targeted with a stratagem. If it does, reduce the CP cost usage of that stratagem by 1. That's going to be interesting. And then the Miasma Pestilence. While a friendly Death Guard unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a range attack targets that unit, models in that unit have the benefit of cover against that attack. Is benefit of cover -1 to hit or -1 to wound?
I think it's -1 to hit.
Okay, that's not going to matter too much.
No, especially not for your army either,
Well,
because like
it's
all
it's
your
going to
guys
be in
have.
niche scenarios where you're not running Flybone Host. Um,
That's fair.
yeah, that's well, not niche scenarios. Because Flyborn Host is the only one that gives -1 to hit that we know of. Not all the
I
detachments
will
have
say
been
it's
leaked yet.
interesting that your range now went from 3 attacks instead of a D6, like with most spewers.
Yeah, it seems like no,
So it
it's
did get
it's
a
changed.
range
It's no longer
increase
a Plague
here.
Spewer. It's the Infernal Cannon.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
you're
this thing
right. Sorry.
shoots. This thing shoots a little farther now.
Yeah,
And has a little bit
but
more
it does also
attacks.
hit more because it does also have point increase for the strike, where now instead of 6, it's 7 for your attacks here.
Ooh, this
It
thing this
looks
thing
like
went up
it's good.
35 points though. I don't know if those changes are. I don't know. I
You
don't run
do
Demon
get a.
Princes. I don't.
No, that's fair. Demon Princes are more for like CSM than anything else, and I feel like they're decent. The only thing that really surprises me though is that you guys got more movement with a tougher unit, which is a
1 inch
little
is quite a
odd.
lot, guys. It's quite a lot.
It is. You get +1 movement and +1 toughness. I feel like that's pretty good.
It's good.
Mhm.
Whoopsie. 35 point increase though. It's interesting. Demon Prince of Nurgle with wings. Looks like the Plague Spear's going wrong away. Plague Cannon, more attacks, more movement, more toughness.
It's about the
Um,
same as the last one, and overall, like ideal here, +1 from the
yeah.
last movement, +1 from the toughness, and just slightly different abilities,
Yeah,
but nothing.
the enfeebling miasma, when units fall back within 6 inches of this unit, they have to take a desperate escape test. Subtract 1 from each of those to separate. Like it's like okay. I don't think demons have. You'll find niche uses for it. It does. No, these both have had. Yeah, the one with wings has deep strike. I don't play with the demon princes too much. I don't. I like
I have
it's
nothing
it
really
is.
much else to add to this because demon princes are are very similar to each other already,
Yeah.
so I got nothing.
All right. On to the Lord of Virulence. Because this one is pretty fucking great. Lord of Virulence. It had some synergy with PBCs back before the indirect changes were made, where you have to what anything that's not a 3 up or a 4 up is a auto fail. There's been some changes with the Lord of Virulence, more movement, just 1 extra movement, 1 extra toughness. Um, uh, Plague Spear is the same melee profile. Oh, it's hitting better now. It's hitting on 2s instead of 3s, which is nice. But I want to actually pull attention to the abilities because this is fucking nutty. The Virulent Aura. While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes a range attack, you can reroll the wound roll. Pretty nice. Blight Bombardment, on the other hand, um, it's interesting. They don't state the leader on the Lord of. I'm assuming it's a Termi Lord, so it's gonna be leaving Terminators. So Blight Lords. This thing's gonna be insane with Blight Lords. Because the Blight Bombardment. At the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 30 inches of this model and visible. Until the end of the phase, each time a friendly Death Guard model makes a ranged attack that targets that unit, reroll a hit roll of 1. If that attack is made with a blast weapon, you can reroll the hit roll. So you're putting this with Blightlord Terminators, and you basically just have rerolls. And uh, the Plague Burst Crawlers, you roll a like that's just this
Yeah, I was
this
gonna
this
say
unit this
this
unit's
right
pretty
here.
sick, dude. This is pretty
If
sick.
you like Blight Lord Terminators, like you pick up this model for yourself, like it will do great with Blight Lord Terminators. Just because of that like ability for the blasting, like blasts and everything like that.
Yeah,
I feel like that's great.
it'll
This is
be
definitely like something
It'll
you
be
should get.
interesting to see what this with Death Shroud, because the Plague Sport Gauntlets on the Death Shroud Terminators don't have the 2-up anti-infantry; they have the 4-up.
That's
So
fair.
it's interesting. This I
That's
think I think
fair.
this I think Lord of Virulence will find a permanent home with Blight Lord Terminators.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like this one, I mean, it definitely people will test it out with like Death Shroud, but I do think it's gonna make itself well at home with Blightlord Terminators.
The
Now the newest model here, or actually, yeah, one of the Lord of Contagion. Before you start, I'm gonna say this here. That's not the Lord of Contagion
you
model.
stole my talking point, you bastard.
Of course I did, because that is
He doesn't
I
even
don't
know
want
the
to say
name.
complete downgrade, but like
It's the Lord Felthius
like
model.
there's the Lord of Contagion and then the cooler Lord of Contagion, which is the actual correct model.
Yeah, you skipped the Lord of
Um,
Poxes.
Lord of Poxes, there's not much. Like I
That's a new
feel like
unit. That's a new unit. Yeah,
I know
no,
it's a
I
new
won't lie.
unit, but
There's not too
didn't we
much to
talk
this.
about?
Plasma weapon, melee weapon, anti synergy with dev wounds and lethal hits. Shrouded Disease is really nice, giving I think lone op to a whole squad of plague marines is gonna be nasty. Adding 3 inches to contagion range is gonna be nice too. Other than that, not too much to talk about with the Lord of Poxes. 5-inch movement T6, but yeah, Lord of
Oh yeah,
Contagion.
no, Lord of Foxes is gonna be great to run with like people with like Plague Marines. It's gonna be fun to see how this does in melee range, because it feels like this is something you have to remove early on, because you can't obviously shoot it out with that 18-inch like closeness for shooting.
Yeah.
So
So
I
you
will be
gotta you gotta
interested to
walk
see
up
how
to
it
it
does.
and then deal with all the Death Guard's new buffs and debuffs and all that fun stuff. It
Mhm.
doesn't look like looks like strength on the melee weapons for the Lord of Contagion have been increased. Damage is the same. New abilities? Yeah. Sustain hits when it's leading. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, sustain hits when leading a model and adding Lance to the abilities. I don't even know what Lance does. Is that the +1 to Can you
Let
look
me
that up? I don't
double
even know what that is. I know it's plus something on a charge. And then Unholy Resistance. The first time a model with this ability is destroyed in a battle round, roll 1d6 at the end of the
Yeah.
phase. On a 2-up, set that model back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where it's destroyed, and not within engagement range of enemy units, with 3 wounds remaining each model. Oh my goodness. This guy is coming back. So you, Death Shroud Termies,
Uh,
Deep Strike, kill the squad. T7 Death Shroud, by the way, confirmed. Um, this thing just gets the fuck back up.
I should
Yikes.
also mention that Lance is when each time an attack is made with such a weapon, if that bearer made a charge move with this turn, add one to the attack wound roll. So charging in with this with like some Death Shroud after Deep Strike here will be adding
You say
one to your
add
wound
+1
roll.
to wound?
+1 to wound, yes.
Wow, that's gross. Holy shit, dude. This thing goes into T10 opponents, -1 from the aura. So you're going from hitting on 5s to 4s to hitting on 3s, dude. What's your dreadnought? What's your dreadnought stuffness?
For
You're
my the Redemptor Dreadnoughts.
yeah. What's this toughness on that?
It's 10 toughness.
Dude, I'm gonna be hitting your Redemptor Dreadnoughts on threes. How does that make you feel?
Well, if you can actually hit my Dreadnoughts, I'll give you tons of credit if you can do it. Because all I really need to do is give that thing the macro plasma incinerator, the plasma cannon, and supercharge it, and you're gone.
Well, I will make that. I will add that component to my list when I get my pre-orders done this weekend.
Me and you will have to test it out because I'm gonna be this is gonna be fun to try.
Malignant Plaguecasters. It's pretty much the same thing. Just more toughness, no movement, toughness +1. Some changes with the gifts of contagion. Um, instead of having instead of subtracting hold on a second. Whatever the old one was, because I didn't really use or paid too much attention to this. While models leading a unit each well, this doesn't matter because I run these in Plague Bus. But if you want to put these in Plague Marines, um, while this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack that targets a unit that is afflicted, make that attack has sustained hits +1, and then Pestilent Fallout is the same. It looks like afflicted is going to be this new like mechanic where we'll talk about that later. Anyway, long story short, we'll talk about it now. Plague Marines, whenever they shoot ship, they get afflicted, which is like just this marker that gets put on ship, and then stuff gets buffed when they hit afflicted units. Nothing too much to talk about the Malignant Plaguecaster here, except for afflicted synergies. Any thoughts, AJ? You ready for this to get party
I
bust at
don't have
you? How
much
much
with
did
the
this go up
malignant
in points, by the
playcaster.
way? It looks like a Malignant Plaguecaster was 65. And this went up 5 points.
Okay. Again, I don't ever have much when it comes to malignant playcaster. I think it's an okay model, and I still think it's an okay model.
The plague bus begs to defer. The party bus begs to defer.
But we're gonna cover next a model I actually think is
Yeah,
really
you want to
good.
take the lead on
The
this one because you
Noxious.
were pretty excited about it.
I was very excited about this. The Noxious Blightbringer. The Noxious Blightbringer actually got a buff, or at least I feel like a buff when it comes to its abilities here. If Jordan, you want to go to the next page here.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, no worries. So it's relatively the same kind of here, same kind of range, same attacks here for it all, but the abilities are slightly different. So it has sickening
Sorry, give me one
vitality,
second
right?
here.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't been reading the things. The Lord of Contagion does get attached to Bite Lord Terminators and Death Shrouds. Um, sorry. All right, you're good to go. Sorry.
All right. But yeah, no, the Noxus Blightbringer does have, again, sickening vitality. When this model is leading a unit, add 1 to that movement characteristic of the models. And if that unit, and you can re-roll advance and charge rolls made by that unit. So, as I found out on the Death Guard Reddit, I found out that you can attach this to Typhus for Poxwalkers and make Poxwalkers move a total of like a hell of a lot faster and move a hell of a lot tougher
Yeah,
because of this model here.
Poxwalkers got +1 to their movement, so they're moving from fours to fives. With this thing, they're going from 5 to 6 inches. And let's say you get a cheeky advance roll off, dude. These you got a 20 brick, you got a 20 brick of Poxwalkers moving 12 inches turn one, or like whatever turn. Like that. That's some funky ass movement.
Isn't that just wild to imagine? Like Poxwalkers moving like 6 inches bare minimum, and that's not including like advance rolls or charge rolls either, because you can re-roll your advance rolls and charge rolls. That is nasty because you can run like 20 of these with Typhus and this guy right here, and you'd have a pretty fast moving blob with you because those guys would be moving about as fast as cultists would be moving typically, and still have that whole bonus of Typhus. Like decreasing damage around it would be very solid to have.
Hmm. It seems like the Toxin of Misery has been changed to minus. So you auto take battle shocks with your 9 inches of this, but it's only -1 if you're a psyker compared to the -2 um, that is normally on the old model. I think getting this attached to Poxwalkers is going to see it have more play. I don't think anyone was actually running Noxious Blightbringers in any comp lists, and I never found any reason to run them because at the time you could only attach this to Plague Marines, and Biologists with Foul Blightspawn was just the better combo. So this will definitely find a home with Poxwalkers and in the Poxwalker detachment that we'll get to
Oh,
later
I
on.
definitely think
I
so.
think
And
it's a good
again,
change. This unit is increasing by points though. By let's see here. It's going up 5 points, so it's still gonna be 50 points. So we'll
it's
just
not a huge
keep.
loss. In truth, I still think it's very easy to run with. So I would recommend that people try it out, mess around with it, see if you can actually have some fun with it.
Hmm. I just want to see the points. Okay, so Follow Blightspawn remains untouched. Plague Spear is
That's surprising.
basically the same. Melee is basically the same. It's Blinding. Oh no. Wait. In the fight phase, you can select one model from your army with this ability. To use this ability, if you do until the end of the next phase, the model's unit has Fight's first ability. Each model can only be selected for this ability. Oh shit. This is a nerf. I think
Again,
this is
not
the first
surprising. There had
confirmed
to be
nerf in
at
the
least
entire codex.
one nerf.
We, as Death Guard, no longer have automatic fight firsts. Because it used to be, while it's just leading the unit, it has fight first forever. You only get to have fights for. Wow. Okay. That's that's gonna change things up a little bit. Because it used to be just Biologist follow Blightspawn, boom boom, nuke a unit, move on. That is insane.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't have anything to expand upon that because I actually don't own follow blight spawns, but I think the competitive community will definitely have some more to say as this comes out. Putrefying Stink. Enemy models cannot start or end an advanced move within 9 inches of this model. Uh, that's kind of fun. Prevents people from just walking up on you. Um, wow, that actually sucks.
Yeah,
Not having
there's
automatic fight
some
first
character
anymore, that
models
does
that had
kind
to
of
take
suck.
a
That does suck.
yeah,
Um,
but again, some character models had to take a kneecapping, and the foul blade spawn is
no,
another
no, no,
thing
no,
that
no. Death Guard needs to stay broken. It needs to stay broken.
have you not looked at everything else we've talked about so
Everything
far?
has come. It's +1 toughness, +1 movement, and a 20-point cost increase.
Okay, sure, sure. I'm just gonna cry
Yeah,
in my
I feel like
corner
I,
here.
as a
This
Death Guard player, I
heavily
should have more on the follow blight spawn. This is just a nerf. The broader implications I don't know about because I don't actually use this or
now for us who are in the non-Delulu land
I
here.
want to be Delulu. I want to be mentally ill as fuck. Let's see how they
Mhm.
mess with the Biologist Putrefier. Does it keep lethal hits? It does.
Clap your hands. Woo!
Sweet. So it's the same thing. Shits on fives instead of six. Extraction. Oh, okay. It looks like Biologist Putrefier loses its free grenade stratagem. Okay, so that's
Okay.
changes to two big key units right here on one page. That's a big one. Because that free grenade strat was very nice, very nice. It's been replaced with Extraction of Fresh Disease. The first time this model unit destroys an enemy unit as a result of a melee attack. Until the end of the battle round, add 6 to the objective control. Oh, okay. So this is just the Apothecary Biologist, right, for Death Guard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
Okay. That's
I mean, there's again also like another model that really hasn't been touched much. You know,
this model has been
it,
touched. The losing the free
well,
grenade stratagem is huge because that's I think that's six. You roll what 6 dice, and for every 4 up, it's immortal.
yeah.
I think that's a pretty big change. I think at
Okay.
least That's because
Okay,
you
I
can do
like
that every
that.
round. Like that's
Yeah, if you can do that every round, that's real good.
yeah, that damn that sucks. I wish I was more heartbroken, but I always forget to throw my grenades. So I guess I don't have to forget about that any fucking more. Hyper blight grenades are
Nope.
base. Oh, more strength on the hyper blight grenades. Actually, two more strength. Um, the injector pistol now has anti-infantry 2 up, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Makes that hit a little bit
You
more consistent.
you also
Plague
get a
knives are pretty much
marginal
the
toughness
same.
bonus. Everybody gets toughness 1 now, or like an extra toughness 1 here,
Yep.
so it now toughness 6 instead of toughness 5.
What does this
But
go
I
up
feel
to?
like
This
after
actually got point decrease. This actually went down again 5 points. So, damn, we lose the grenade strat. That fucking blows. Ripperonis. Onto the tally man. Let's see how they changed this guy up. One more toughness as usual. The pistols staying the same. Supercharge stays the same. Let's see what it does for the ability. Uh, okay. Well, this model's you leading a unit. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers to that attack's ballistic skill or weapon skill characteristics, or any or all modifiers to the hit roll. So taking Mortarian's aura specifically for the hit stuff and putting it on it is interesting, and it still has the chant. Thoughts? Sorry, I've been doing a lot of yapping here,
pretty
AJ. I
much.
apologize.
Again, this is also a model I never really go up against or see much talked about. So this is also kind of a thing where I'm like, I shrug.
That's true.
Yeah, this isn't something where I'm like, I have much of an opinion on. Just
I
like
was I was starting
before,
to like them. I think the +1 to hit with the Plague Marines was a really nice combo. Really gross.
that's fair.
Because you put these with your Plague Marines, they go from hitting on threes to hitting on twos. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Plague Surgeon. Did they make this guy any better?
Oh,
More toughness, same shooting, same melee. Um, yep, the Tainted Nathicarium is still there. Um, there is no healing anymore. Instead, you have inflamed infections. At the start of the fight phase, select one enemy unit within engagement range of this model. To the end of the phase, each time that model makes an attack that targets that unit, an unmodified hit roll of 5 up scores a critical hit. If that unit is below half strength. Oh my goodness.
yeah. See, this is where I feel like as the bonus comes in, I
Wow.
feel like that
That's
really,
wow, this is just free crits on wow.
yeah.
Wow, okay.
I feel like
Plague Surgeon getting a bit of a buff with this one. Okay.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's the buff, that's the bonus, that's the nice little cherry on top to see.
I think you might be the cherry. I think this might be the main course on this one cuz you um if you attach this with Plague Marines, especially like like a melee blob, right? You especially like if you max out heavy plague weapons, you're getting crits on 4 ups. That's nice. That's real gross because heavy plague weapons have -2 AP. If you take the -1, well, actually, spoiler alert. You know those plague company detachments, the -1 to ballistic skill shooting, -1 to saves, and then the weird OC one. That's baked into the army rules now. Um, so they have -3 AP critting on fours. That's insane. This does go up, however. How much did the Tallyman go up? Tallyman stays the same. That's interesting. Oh no, sorry, Plague Surgeon. Plague Surgeon stays the same.
Yeah, no, I think Plague Surgeon's like new ability is really fun, and I'm gonna love seeing how that's used and implemented. I don't know how I feel that they got rid of the healing, like they regaining like lost wounds,
No one
just
was running this
because
unit.
that is something
No
that
one
would
was
make
running this
sense
unit
for
though. The
Plague
healing
Surgeon.
there's no model that this unit runs that has more than 3 wounds by itself, and since it's a bodyguard unit,
Yeah,
you can't like I had made a prediction that Plague Marines, spoiler, Plague Marines toughness 6, but there's still 2 wounds a pop. The healing was like redundant. Well, the healing didn't matter because your Plague Marines are gonna get popped either way. So the healing and bringing one back was kind of like, okay. Um, Inflamed Infections though makes this a viable pick. It's nice seeing the Death Guard's like problem with all their getting a bajillion characters. The characters actually kind of the ones that aren't played getting some nice buffs. That's my takeaway with this. And right now, my big takeaway from this codex is the biologist and the foul blightspawn nerfs, kind of concerning. Mainly, more the foul blightspawn or the foul blightspawn not having fight first all the time kind of stinks. That's a big one. That's a big one. Right now, we haven't gotten completely fucking destroyed like Sisters of Battle. Or are they called the Sisters? Well, we didn't get fucking destroyed like the Sisters Codex, so that's all I'm really happy for right now. Um, Poxwalkers. You can bring 100. You
Your
can bring a
favorite
bajillion
boys
of
are
these now to your
here.
game, guys, with detachments. Having +1, one more movement, huge. Still has the 5-up field, no plane. What the? Oh my god. Oh my fucking god, AJ. Poxwalkers have
Yeah.
the infiltrator keyword. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I
That's the
know.
that's the
You're
one
gonna
where you
love
get to
me.
say, oh my god, oh just pot, dude. Everyone's like, oh the old Death Guard Combat Patrol sucks ass because they give you 30 Poxwalkers. Oh no! Look, you're gonna bring 30 Poxwalkers because these all have infiltrator keyword. That is insane. I don't know how it works in 40k. Does everyone have the same keyword, or when do you get attached to a unit, do you get that keyword?
You get attached to that unit, you gain that
Is
keyword.
that how that works?
I, that is how it, at least that's how I believe it works, unless there's something different for a different faction, because faction abilities are different for, unit abilities, because mind you, I play Chaos Space Marines, and Chaos Space Marines will all have the Dark Pax ability, but then the Night Lords kill team, the Nemesis Claw, also have the stealth ability, and that's just a core ability.
Sorry, I just texted
But
it
that's
this
only
to the
for,
wide
mind you,
sage
the
here.
Nemesis Claw. That's not for everything. Not everything gets that.
The wide sage is speaking right now. We're gonna wait for this because this could be huge, dude. Um, Curse of the Walking Pox. It's pretty much the same. So they did clarify. So there was some ambiguity with the Poxwalker rules when a Poxwalker killed a unit if it could get added back if that unit could attack. In the core rules update, it was explicitly no, but they've baked it into the rule now, so that's good that they baked that in. Just for clarifying. Other than that, I'm waiting. Oh shit. Oof. Yeah, so you can't attach the 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 whatchamacallit. You can't attach the Noxious Bitebringer to these guys and just throw them at opponents. Poxwalkers having infiltrate is great. Um,
Oh,
this is huge. Because I had talked about, oh, how are we gonna get board coverage? It's the Poxwalkers. They're back, baby. This is sick. I don't. It's
gosh,
how much do
absolutely
they
100%.
cost though? Because that's gonna be a big one. How much are these guys
He's like,
costing
no,
now?
I
They
mean,
went
again,
they went for a 20-man blob is 100 points. Poxwalkers now are 120. That'll be interesting because having infiltrate on a 20-man Poxwalker blob is gross because you can also do gross things with them. Because remember, guys, unit coherency is 2 inches, so you can just string Poxwalkers. Oh my god,
dude, besides
I'm
that,
doing
besides the
AJ that
math that
first
you get
game. I'm
with
bringing
this,
20 Poxwalkers. I'm gonna string them across the board.
I would die.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
stop you
die
from
of
moving
just
turn one. Just to
emotional mental damage
good,
right there. Just seeing 20 poxwalkers
good.
that can do 5 inches with infiltrator.
It's 9. Is infiltrate? No, infiltrate is I deploy 9 inches away from your unit.
No, like 5 inches movement.
Oh
Like you get
yeah.
5 inches movement, then infiltrator on
Oh
top of that.
oh dude, that's a 5-inch charge turn one. That's gonna be so gross, dude.
Dude, that's the
Poxwalker's
thing.
Poxwalker's good, bro. Poxwalker haters
Yeah.
is coping and seething right now. Poxwalker haters on suicide watch. Onto the icon
Yeah, I know,
bearer.
like, it doesn't.
Nope, sorry, no, you
Mhm.
talk. No, you're good.
And I know, like, you were talking, and I know we talked about, like, are also the blight, like, the Noxious Blightbringer with this.
Yeah,
And I know, like, that may be a little bit of an issue because if people want to use it for infiltrating,
yeah.
but still, though, the
No,
fact is,
there's a Poxwalker detachment that you get to bring them on the board. I'm pretty sure you can put the Noxious Blightbringer on that and bring them in. Probably not. Probably not. It probably says D-Strike. Like, once again, guys, we're just Warhammer enjoyers. We don't know all the rules. I've only been playing for a year and playing very much
and
Friend Hammer, our own homebrewed shit. Onto the Icon Bearer. Um,
Icon Bearer again. This is kind of a model where I do like. I don't think there's much that needs to really be talked about. It still has the same kind of. I mean, toughness gets bumped, but everything else relatively
it's pretty
remains the same
much you
stat
can
wise.
unbattle shock Death Guard units. There's not too much to talk about with this.
Nah, and that's a little disappointing that that got kind of sidelined because the Icon Bearer could have been really interesting. It could have been more like the Lord of Boxes, I feel like, but
Doesn't matter because the fucking Plague Marines are here to fuck, dude. And these things fuck hard. These guys have sex. No, sorry, these guys don't have sex. They fuck. I really fucked that up. These
I
guys
knew when
fuck,
the
dude. The tagging mechanic is built into these guys. Infused with the blessings of Nurgle in your shooting phase, each time this unit is selected to shoot. After this unit is shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks until the start of the turn that enemy is afflicted. So you bring your Plague Marines, you get things afflicted. Those afflicted units get additional modifiers when they get attacked. It's pretty good. We get to bring War Gear now, which is pretty fun. Other than that, just having more toughness is going to be great. I'm not
I
seeing
was gonna
any.
say
I'm not
these
seeing any.
guys are now tougher
Oh,
than
what the
the
fuck?
what?
Ooh, Blight Launcher's D3 attacks. Not the best in my.
That's a little disappointing, but I mean,
Very
again
swingy.
though,
Very swingy though.
very swingy. But I will say, even regardless of that though, these guys are now tougher than the standard Space Marine Terminators, being toughness 6.
Are they
Like
actually tougher?
standard Space
Are they
Marines
actually
are toughness
tougher?
5.
Wow.
What?
Are they actually
Yeah,
tougher? Holy fuck.
they are toughness 5. Every variation of this Space Marine like Terminators, like we're talking about units here, is toughness 5. So that includes Deathwings and Deathwing Knights and all that. All toughness 5. So the fact is that this is toughness 6. Ooh, it's nasty. I feel like Death Guard got really bumped in with the toughness, and I feel like that works great for Death Guard. But I will say the fact is that these guys now have more toughness than Terminators is eats me up a little bit because I love my Terminators in my Dark Angels army. And to know that the Plague Marines now have more toughness, it hurts. It hurts me.
Looks like we got Power Fists now. The Plague Marine Champion no longer has a heavy weapon. It's now classified as a Power Fist, which means the champion now has a heavy weapon that hits on 3-ups. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing bit no big changes to core. Mythetic Blight Hauler being a little swingy kind of, or sorry, the Blight Launcher being a little Oh! Blight Launcher
No,
has the
interesting.
blast keyword.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay. That's fun. That's fun. Remember, guys, this is live reactions. I literally got home from school, went on a walk with my lovely boyfriend, and this is my first time seeing this. Blast with lethal hits. That's gonna be fun. That's good. That's good. We got baked in anti-infantry with this. We don't have to run Plague Belcher for like if we want to like skew. Well, not skew, but like okay. That deals that. Wow. That's pretty sick, actually. That kind of balances out, I suppose, right? Because what
I would say so.
default squad sizes are 5, so you're. Oh, this is an upgrade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an upgrade. It's because it's normally 2 attacks per. It's now D3 attacks per, but with Blight Launcher with Blast. Yeah, this is an upgrade. Because at minimum, shooting at infantry, you're gonna have 2 attacks. So huge. That's is actually an upgrade. Plague Marines got an upgrade. And with with the +1 toughness and more attacks, they've actually gone up a bit in points. But we knew this was happening, guys. Come on. These
Yeah,
these
but
these went
even
from
so,
180
it's
for
not.
10 models to 200. So I have nothing more to say about this. Um, I just feel
Yeah,
bad
I
for
have
AJ.
nothing
AJ,
really
you're
to
getting
add
touched with this
about
shit.
this. Yeah, I have nothing really to add or say about this because honestly, I still think these are a great unit overall, even with the point increase. So there's not much I can really like say like to dissuade anybody from going after this and picking up a bunch of these, especially right now because given that their toughness 6 and all their range buffs as well and getting power fists, I feel like that's a pretty solid like these are pretty solid overall.
Yeah. Again, my only critiques right now would be the blight spawn and the Baya just losing free grenades. But like again, that's I I I don't know what that's gonna mean. I think losing fight first is gonna be the biggest one. I think that's gonna be the biggest L of this change. But on to the big one, and the big one that people have wanted, I have wanted. Blightlord models, so cool, have sucked ass since 10th, and here is the new and improved. More movement, more toughness, uh, same amount of wounds. Let's go with the abilities, then we can look at the weapons. Because the old abilities was really sucks. You get to reroll wound rolls of 1 at the closest enemy target. Like it means whatever. Blistering fuel side though, if this unit has a starting strength of 5 or more, or if a character is leading this unit, then each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack that targets an afflicted unit, improve the strength and armor penetration characteristics of that attack by 1. This thing is so good, so good. So you got some Plague Marines to tag targets, right? Because with the Pariah Nexus changes, there's a huge focus on battle line units doing stuff, right? So you're bringing Plague Marines, they're tagging shit. The shit that gets tagged gets shot at, and all these extra buffs are like boom. Um, if the Blight Launcher is back to D3, but with the blast keyword, it looks like all the other weapons are pretty much the same. Reaper autocannon sustains his yeah. But the melee weapon's the big one here. Um, Having damage 2 on the bubonics instead of just the head. Sorry, am I reading this right? Yeah, no, just having damage 2 melee is really nice. You sit these on the objectives, and any space marines that come at it are just gonna fucking die. Uh, a really good change. I want to see how much the point cost. AJ, am I talking over you on this? I feel like I'm stealing the
No,
show
no, no,
here.
no. I'm doing fine. You're listen. You know more about Death Guard than I do. I only know because I played against you
Yeah.
so much with Death Guard that
And when you get
I
when this
my
box comes out, dude, I'm gonna play so much fun stuff. This does come with a 60 point increase, and I think a 60-point increase to make these guys even more viable is gonna be great. You put these guys in a Land Raider Redeemer, running up the board. Bye bye. Like these things are just gonna these things once again fuck.
I was
Uh,
gotta say. I mean, on top of this, again
well,
plus movement, plus
maybe not
toughness,
fuck,
plus
but they've gotten the
what
changes that they need.
they really did. I feel like now people are gonna give these much more of a chance because originally, even with the point increase, right? These got a major buff that I feel like people will start bringing in more and more of these instead of just running more Death Shroud Terminators.
Yeah.
So I feel like
The
this is gonna be good for Death or for Blight Lords to get
Blightlord
like some more
Enjoyers
love.
are winning. Blightlord Enjoyers are winning. How much is a 10-man stack of your Deathwing Terminators, by the way?
You can't run 10-man stacks of Deathwing Terminator or Deathwing Knights.
Really? What are the Terminators that you run in a 10-man?
Are the Death or just the Deathwing Terminators.
Yeah, how much are those for a 10-man?
Let me
Those are expensive as
let me
fuck,
just
right?
I don't think they're that bad, but I could be wrong. I think it's like three. Wait, I say that. I think it's like 360. Cause
That's crazy,
yeah,
bro. A
180
10-man
for a
of
5-man
Blightlord
squad.
Terminators are 370. And what's your guys' toughness?
Toughness
That's crazy.
5.
Toughness 7. What's the strength on the strongest weapon you got?
Uh,
That's not like a
from
plasma gun or something dumb.
okay. Well, then toughness would be our power fists, which is toughness 8.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, but I
What do
mean,
those
hey,
hit on? What do
I
those hit on?
it hits on 4 or 3s. Hits
Oh,
on
so hitting
3s.
on 4s with the aura because you're gonna be in contagion range. Yeah, this is definitely put it on the board and good luck getting it off the board unit.
Yeah, again, I strongly recommend you pick up these. Besides the fact that they look super cool, I love how these look. I love the grossness of it.
Huh, apparently our friend has said Mortarion has a huge potential to deal a lot of mortal wounds, especially in the rewrited Plague Company detachment. Because if he's hurt, he can do mortals for every wound lost to a unit within 3 inches and heal himself with a strat, then does mortals on the move phase, then he can chuck grenades. If he dies, he can auto-explode for a strat. What the fuck? Holy shit.
Yeah,
That's bonkers. I got nothing to say about Blight Lords. They're good. This whole list is
I
basically just it's good.
yeah.
Death Shrouds, more movement, which is huge by the way, guys. Um, uh, it just makes getting those charges better. It's got deep strike. Um, no fucking way. No fucking way.
Ladies and gentlemen,
No fucking way. No
he is
fucking way. No fucking way.
shocked.
Well, a character model's leading this unit. That character. Wait, hold on. I can't read. Silent Bodyguard. While a character model is leading this unit, that character model has the Feel No Pain ability, no Feel No Pain 4-up ability. Hmm. I thought
Ooh,
that meant for the whole
ooh.
squad. I guess I'm just dumb. I'm figuring out how that would work.
So any character unit, right?
What'd you say?
Any character unit, right?
Yeah. So
Or
like Typhus, Lord of Aurelian, all that fun stuff.
okay, you could run that with the Lord of Contagion.
Apparently, some detachments got leaked too.
Okay,
From the hobby
okay.
news. Sorry, the scheduled programming is being interrupted. Apparently, some fucking data detachments got leaked. Damn. Okay. Sorry. Back to what we were talking about though. I guess we're not covering everything today. Sorry, guys. Yeah, no. So I guess I don't know how that would feel because like when you allocate wounds to units, they take those wounds. Huh. I think it's cool. I'll see how that plays on the board. Death approaches deep strike on 6 inches horizontally from afflicted enemy units. Um, uh, since plague marines are the ones tagging. Well, there's a detachment that lets you get to pick afflicted units. So turn one, you pick a afflicted unit in the back line, deep strike. Like it's just good. It's gonna be very. I'm rambling. AJ, take over. My brain's so messy right now, dude.
Death Shroud Terminators, they slap. I feel like this is really good for them. Again, toughness 7, movement 5. I'm kind of shocked by the movement of the Death Shroud Terminators. I kind of figured they'd be staying at 4 inches and be keeping at 4 inches. But, a guy who dreams of the downfall of Death Guard here turns out no. No.
The
But I
I
do like that ability of getting the silent bodyguard, which works in character for them because that's like their whole deal. But while a character leading this, they get the feel no pain ability of like 4-up, which is on top of the 4+ anvil save. And that is really nice because you'll be saved. Like these guys will be saved a lot and be really effective against some of those like units.
Yeah,
So
this is
attaching
just
them to
yeah,
something
your
like
fucking
Lord of
obliterators are
Contagion.
gonna have a harder time shooting these guys. This is just good. It's a good change to this unit. Sorry, I've just been
I really think
procured
so
the
too.
entire leaked detachments too, so we can look at those later. So
Yeah, and
Um,
also mind you, wait, before we go on, the war. Oh, okay, or
no, you're good.
yeah, there's the war gear ability here. While an enemy unit is within 6 inches of the bearer of the icon of despair, their leadership characteristic
It
goes
looks
down
like
by
they're
one.
adding some soft synergy for battle shock combos.
It really does. These guys are definitely living up to the name of being like that resilient, like force there that can tank everything and kind of bring everything down with it.
Yeah, these guys would be
So I
fucking
really
nasty.
like that they're leaning in with this for this codex here, and I'm happy that your codex here really fits like these guys well.
Yeah, this is great. They were tanky and busted before, and they're gonna be even more tanky and busted. Point increase on these guys quite a bit though. If I am remembering correctly here. Death Shrouds for a 6-man 220 Death Shrouds now. Holy fucking shit, dude. AJ, you are gonna be so happy with this one. They've gone up 100 points. They are 320.
Yo,
So in a 2,000 point game, a little over a 30 or a little bit more than a quarter your list is going towards if you want to bring 6 of these on the board. So no
that
more
doesn't
18 Death
surprise me.
Shroud spamming.
I was gonna say that doesn't surprise me because regular Terminators, or Blade Lord Terminators, as we just clearly discussed, right,
Yeah.
is a little bit more than just what
Yeah.
like standard Terminators are. So I'm not surprised by that. And besides that as well, like this is still a great unit to run. 5 movement, 7 toughness, and the character, like running with a character there, gives him that 4+ feel no pain ability. That's got to be really nice to run with something that can give it like some rerolls there of just attacks. I think, again, very viable. And
I wonder
again,
if this is like a
people have already been running
scenario
Blight
where
Lord
you instead
Terminators a
of
lot too.
attributing the wounds to the squad, you give it to like you give it to like Typhus.
For what?
I feel you actually have the character model taking all the damage instead of the Death Shroud. So, because like you know how you can choose to allocate wounds either to the bodyguard unit or the hero leaving them.
Right.
I wonder if you intentionally let your character leading the model take the wounds because of the feel no pain.
I don't know why you would. Because if
Because
you're
of the
running
4
like
up
a
feel
six
no
man,
pain.
yeah, these guys gain the 4+ feel no pain.
No, it's only no. They
Oh, the
only get the yeah.
character.
Only the character gets to feel no pain. Yeah, the
Oh,
whole squad doesn't get to
really?
feel no pain, bro. That'd be fucking busted.
I thought they were. That was
No,
my
no, no, no. That's
understanding
what I
as
thought
well.
originally. All right, we're kind of slogging around here. No, it's okay. Hellbrute, more movement, same toughness. Uh, Adding +1s to the wound roll while attacking afflicted movements. Um, Froth, Splattered Frenzy. It looks like if you go double melee weapons, you get +2 character. If this model is equipped with 2 melee weapons, in addition to its close combat weapon, add 2 to attack characteristics of those 2 weapons. So, what, do you run 2 Power Scourges? Yeah, looks like you run Hellbrute Fist. It looks like there's one Hellbrute Fist you have to have. You run it with a Power Scourge, and you just get a whole fuck more melee. Looks like you bring this little goober in and just throw him at shit. Nothing really to add on here. Removing the infused with the blessing of Nurgle is hit or miss. I don't know. I'm running out of opinions. I like the changes. Change is good.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised
It's
though
gonna
that
go
they.
from 100. It remains untouched. It is still 130
Well, that
points.
makes sense. I guess I'm a little bit though surprised that this didn't get a toughness boost. It actually got a movement boost.
Yeah.
Because everything else almost in this list has gotten a toughness boost
Hmm.
here, and though it's not a vehicle in a traditional sense, it is a vehicle, I guess, in keywords. Maybe that's why I didn't get the toughness boost. But I don't know. It feels weird that they didn't get it.
Has this thing always been classified as a walker? That's funny.
Yeah, well, it has two little legs.
That's true.
He has two little legs. It has two chicken legs.
All right, we're getting to the end here. The Chaos Spawn, no big changes to this one except for 2 more toughness. No, actually, a lie. 2 more toughness, Scout 6. So it looks like, and a Deadly Demise 1. And then the Lethal Ichor. Each time a melee attack is allocated to a model in this unit after the attacking unit has finished making its attack, roll 1d6 to a maximum of 6d6 per attacking unit. For each 4-up, the attacking unit suffers 1 mortal. So, um, just like another unit to throw. It looks like we're throwing Chaos Spawn and Poxwalkers down the board now. But this got
Yeah,
a
that
pretty
seems to be the
big
case.
point increase, going from. Oh, you can talk, AJ. You're good.
Oh, I don't have much to really add about this. This does seem like kind of again a little bit of a I don't want to say a nothing, but there's not much here. That at least for Chaos Spawn that I want to add. Chaos Spawn kind of remain the same. Like overall here, there's not much. I will say it's going to be interesting to see how these people are just going to throw these down the middle
Actually,
and
these
see
go up.
how fast they can just get these guys to go.
Yeah, these go up by 10 points, so I think that's fine. Again, I don't
Yeah.
own this model, so seeing it on the board will be interesting for play. I think most of our opinions here is like this is all good. We'll let the comp scene decide what's going on. But let's talk about the
I
worst
will
fucking
say,
change in this. No, you're
wait,
good.
no, wait. I was gonna say here, we're gonna hear the biggest crash out for somebody
Yep.
who
Biggest
should be
fucking crash out.
really
This
happy with the
codex is
overall
actually
codex.
unusable because why the fuck are Mythetic Blight Haulers so fucking expensive? You can only run 2 of them now, and it's 220 for 2. I don't know why the fuck they jumped these things up fucking 55 points. It's basically the same unit. It is the same unit. Why the fuck just make this thing 25 points expensive? Well, probably because I don't know. I don't get why you would make this unit I don't think this unit on by itself is worth 110 points. The biggest critique for Mythetic Blight Haulers for me is the shooting has always been inconsistent. Only having 2 Melta shots and a Karak missile to deal with, like anti-tank, sucks. It's still strength 9. We're not seeing T10 or like our strength 10 on this. Um, like yeah, Tank Hunter brings it down to like a 4. Like you're shooting at like a Lehman Russ or Rogel Dorn or whatever. You're still it's 3s to hit, 4s to wound. Like those aren't good odds. So making these 20, what did I say? How much was this? 20. Making these things 25 points more expensive, especially after the last data slate decreased them by 5 points. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. I don't get it. These things like now kind of stink. I used to bring 3 of them to every game because you kind of throw them at something and it'll die. But with these things gone, I don't think this unit's gonna see any play unless there's like a uber broken detachment that they're in. These things suck now. We're moving on.
My gosh.
Footide Bloatrone has 2 profiles now. Uh, the one with the spewer is pretty much the same. Flesh Mower is the same. It shoots. This model's eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn which it fell back. Okay, whatever. The one with the heavy blight launcher is kind of fun. Um, the
I
heavy
feel like this
blight
was.
launcher got an interesting treatment. It used to have 6 attacks. Oh, wait a minute. Heavy blight launch. Whoa, how many points is this thing gonna be? This thing might be good because it's strength 10 now. So this is like a portable. This thing. What was the blow drone at? Hold on. Fotai blow drone. Oh, they have gone up. So they're 100 points. 100 points for a model that can move 10 inches, going from 6 attacks to D6 plus 2. Bit of a downgrade. It does 3 damage a pop though, so this is definitely like an elite killer. But the explosive blight in your shooting phase, each time this model makes an attack that destroys an enemy unit before removing the last model that is from play, Roll a d6, adding 1 to the result. That unit is afflicted on a 5-up. Each enemy unit within 6 inches of that model is afflicted until the start of your next turn. What the fuck does this all mean? This thing floats around, is going to be afflicting mass infantry, which again is another unit to just keep the synergy going. And I think we'll probably see the heavy blight launcher used more than the Photide Blowtron with the spewers, especially at like 100 points, but who knows. Or
I'm more
instead of
surprised,
running 3
honestly.
Mythetic Blight Haulers, I'll just run 3 Photide Blow Drones.
Yeah. I will say I'm a little bit surprised that the fetid blow drone actually now has two sheets because, and we'll talk about this here, or you'll see here, right? Is that that there you can have two different variations here. One is the standard one, and then one with the heavy blight launcher, which doesn't seem like it does too much, but it does give two different abilities, which is interesting because the standard hovering death ability that's on the regular fetid blow drone. But if you want one with the heavy blight launcher, then that one seems to get the explosive blight, which is a new ability here.
Bro's just repeating exactly what I said. Goddamn.
I'm just saying, I feel like it's
No,
interesting
I think it's fun to
that
have two profiles on this, and I think
yeah, I think
that's
it
gonna
is.
be
I
I think
feel
it's
like
gonna
it's
be fun
definitely
to
very
see how this
interesting.
goes.
I do wonder though how this will differentiate in the future. If they'll just keep this up and keep this going, or if this is just something that is just
Let me have the
here for right
flesh.
now.
Give me a profile for the flesh mower Photide Blowtron. I want a special ability with that one. If you're gonna make the spewer and the blight launcher one different, give me a profile for the flesh mower. That's all that I would say.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that that one didn't get it, but whatever. Now we get
Plagueburst
to
Plagueburst
Cyber's
crawler is
crawl.
basically untouched. The entropy cannons are still strength 10, so dog shit. Indirect nerfs still make this thing like a niche pick. Like it's
You
still
ran two of them in
anti-infantry.
our
I think it's
3,000 point game.
what'd you say?
You ran two of them in our 3,000 point
Because I
game.
don't even have like enough point. These things still cost 180 points. It's just well, because I use these because it's a way to blast shit off of objectives because this is the only ranged indirect blast weapon that Death Guard have. I think they should be cheaper. I don't think the entropy cannons hit as hard as they should. The new Spore Lanced Shock is, I think it's gonna be good because now it does mortal wounds. If anything, this is an upgrade from what we used to have, but I still want to see this unit cheaper, and I want the entropy cannons to be stronger. I want the entropy cannons to be strength 12, so I can stop bringing uh so I can stop bringing war dogs to my games. That's all that I really have for this one.
I'm more surprised that like the OC went down for this actually.
Oh, it
Instead
did.
of four, it
The
went
fuck
down
is
to
that
three.
for? It's probably because well, what you do in
Well,
tournaments
considering
is
that people will
you
usually
put
keep this in their
you put these like in
backpack.
an L shape on your home
Yeah,
objective, and you have 8 OC on your home objective. That's a
exactly.
lot
So
of
that's where I'm
OC.
a little bit surprised that like people or that this hasn't like stayed the same. I'm a little surprised.
I am surprised too.
Hmm.
A little disappointed.
Sorry, go
Chaos
on.
Predator Annihilator looks pretty much the same, right?
Yeah, this again. OC went down.
Yeah, it's probably well, it's because people were fucking spamming these in comp play.
Yeah, that
Um,
doesn't surprise me. But I mean, otherwise, again,
yeah,
this is pretty much remained the same.
It
They're
looks
not
like the
gonna change.
ability is a little better now. Instead of rerolling the damage roll, well, I don't know. In your shooting phase, at this model is shot, select one enemy monster of your unit vehicle hit by one or more of those attacks. Roll 1d6, adding one to the result. The unit is afflicted of a 5-up. The unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. You're guaranteeing mortals instead of a reroll to damage. It's still monster vehicle, so I don't know. You're gambling though. This is gambling though. So on a 5-up, you're taking D3 mortals versus rerolling a hit your damage roll. I think my gut is telling me this is a nerf. It looks like there's a lot of
I feel
mortal
like this
shit.
is just kind of a nerf overall.
Looks
But
like
it's
there's a
not a complete loss because the combi bolters do. Well, combi bolters are
Shut
about
up.
the same.
Shut up. No one runs this for the combi bolters. You run 3 of these because it's a movement 10 unit with toughness 10, and you just shoot the shit out of anything that moves.
Yeah, this is. I don't know. This is fine. I mean, I really don't have much to really add overall. This is pretty much the same for CSM as it is here. Like, this
I would
is.
say this is a downgrade. You're losing the reroll for your damage roll. I think this is a downgrade.
If you say so. Then we go to the Destructor. Again, pretty much the same thing as the last model. This is the Annihilator. This slightly different ability.
Hmm. Looks like the Hail of Corrosive Disease in your shooting phase after this model is shot. Select one enemy unit, and then any other Death Guard units that make a ranged attack, they get improved AP against that unit. That is interesting. Um, that's interesting. Some soft synergy there. I don't own these, so I don't know really what to comment on.
Yeah, that's fair. I own the Annihilator for my my Chaos Space Marine army. I think it's fun to have, and I think it's a good vehicle killer. But there wasn't much I could add with it when it comes to
Yeah.
how it was or how it is here versus then.
um, I think this is literally just the same. It's got plus one more. It's got one more toughness. It's got some ability. Um, it makes a unit not have the benefit of cover, which is kind of nice. Other than that, it's a defiler. They don't even have a Death Guard one. Oh, okay. The artwork is it looks like a pre-Heresy scheme defiler.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For I should mention, I'm apparently in a minority here with Jordan. I don't like the Defiler model.
I think it's a
He
great
likes
model.
it
I think it's goofy. Crab go skittle 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 scattle.
skittle skittle scattle scattle. It looks derpy, and I don't fucking like it because this model is ancient as hell.
Not as ancient as your mother. Um,
Probably.
Chaos Land Raider. It's literally the same.
Yeah, the vehicles pretty much have to stay the same between this, this and the
Yeah.
Index. So there's not much we're gonna probably say here for just overall.
Chaos Rhino no longer has the heal. Instead, it has fire support. If it shoots at anything, units that disembark from the transport can reroll wound rolls against that unit that it's shot at. Uh, yeah, combi bolter, combi weapon. Yeah, they've just gotten rid of the plague combi bolter keyword. Now it's just combi bolter. Okay. That's pretty much it for the codex. That is
Yeah. Oh,
everything. Jesus, we talked a lot about a lot.
oh yeah. No,
Oh my
the
god, we've been
Codex was a
yapping for
big
fucking
piece.
ever.
And now we talk about the new starter box and the new combat patrol. I'd
Starbucks.
like to actually start this if
Yeah,
you
no,
don't
you're good.
mind.
Take over, please.
Uh,
I'm tired.
Both of these I think are wonderful. I think the Pox Rod Vector Battle Force box is a fun little starter box here because you get the 5-man Blight Lords, 7-man Plague Marines, the new Lord of Pox, and all the lovely vehicles that you like are just in Death Guard only. And hopefully you get all the different detachments for it, so then you can do whatever you want with your Fetid Blight drone and everything like that as well. I like how that looks. I again, big fan of the Blight Lord Terminators. And big fan in general of Terminators. I love Terminators. I think they're fun to run. So I like how that is. I like that battle force, and I think it's a good one to have because like once you pick up like this, you have a really good start with how you want to run your starting thing there. You're pretty close to, if not, is this 1,000 points? Jordan, do you know if this is 1,000 points?
Uh, Let me find out for you. Just keep talking.
Yeah, no, okay, sorry. And then the Combat Patrol also, I think is really fun. You get I'm not a big fan of the Tailing Man. I think the Tailing Man's okay. But again, you get the Lord of Vitulence, and then the Death Shroud, and a new Rhino, which I feel like rhinos are kind of needed, even with the buffs that infantry has gotten this codex here. I think the Rhino is going to be really helpful as you build up your force here. So getting this combat patrol is going to be really nice. And I mean, I feel like my only issue is that like we saw the World Leaders combat patrol, and I feel like that does the spearhead method way better. I don't think this is a bad starter though either. I think both of these are good starters, and I like these both for very much the same reasons here. I just think that on its own, the combat patrol is a little lesser, but I feel like this is a side grade from the Typhus and Poxwalkers one. But otherwise, I like both of these quite a lot, and I got really no complaints about how both of these are set up. I
Um,
think.
I
Oh
think.
yeah,
Yeah. So both of these, the Poxwalk Vector Battle Force will probably be 1,250 points after all the point increases. Combat, everything together is probably gonna be over 2,000 or 2,000 points. I wouldn't say that the combat Death Guard Combat Patrol is a side grade. I would say this is a direct upgrade from the.
you really think it's a direct upgrade?
Yeah, as much as I meme about the old Combat Patrol having more Poxwalkers and Poxwalkers now being good, uh, you need rhinos to run. You need rhinos to move your plague marines, and having rhinos, death shroud, and plague marines all in one group is great. Why does this matter? You run two of these. You have two rhinos. You have 14 plague marines. If they're running the same sprues that I think they're going to be running on, there's going to be three extra plague marine bodies, so you can kit bash. We got 14. You have 20 plague marines here with some kit bashing. Six death shroud. The Teleman and the Lord of Aurelians is kind of redundant because you can only need
Yeah, I
one.
don't know. I
But
think
like
the Lord
this
of
is a good
Brilliance
buying
is
two
nice.
combat patrols. You have an army. You have a
Yeah,
viable
I'm not
competitive.
gonna argue that. I feel like if you get both these, you're gonna have close to, if not exactly, 2,000 points.
Yeah, it's gonna
And
suck
just for combat
paying the
patrol,
hero tax for Typhus. I think what Typhus is like what $35 MSRP now by himself. It's gonna kind of suck for that, but
I'm gonna say 40 MSRP.
okay.
But even if so, I still think like combat patrol as is. I think combat patrol. I'm not trying to say it's bad. When I say like it's side grade, I do think it's definitely an improvement. I think like though in a different sense because the Poxwalkers, as you brought up,
Yeah,
have
really
gotten
good.
a pretty sizable improvement. The only thing I find like an issue with the combat patrol is the Tallyman. I don't again like I said I don't really like the Tallyman. I don't like the model. I don't like the rules for it. It's eh.
But it's got the
But
it's
again,
got
the
the
Lord of
four it's got the
Vitriol.
critting on fours now though. Once per turn. That's super swingy.
Okay.
You'll see.
I don't know.
I'll make it
I'm
work. I'll make it work.
whatever. Either way, I think getting if you can somehow manage to get both of these, I think you are solid for a good start for Death Guard. If you haven't already started Death Guard, otherwise, picking up one of these is still gonna be really fun to have.
Onto some of the attachments that went. Oh my god, dude, I'm so fucking tired. Holy shit. Been talking
Yeah,
for.
we'll kind of breeze past these a little bit.
No, it's okay. No, because we should definitely talk about this because we also have a bunch of other detachments we have to talk about. The big takeaway with the Nurgle's aura, plague companies getting baked into the army rules. So not only do you get the -1 toughness to any detachment you take, you're getting Soul Scroll, Scorn Blight, Rattle Joint Aura, and Scaptious Soul Rot. The only thing that needs to be noted here is Skull Swarm Blight has been changed to a -1 to your ballistic and weapon skill to now a flat -1 to hit roll. This does not stack with Fly Lord Host anymore. Bit of a downgrade, but that shit's busted. Um, that miasmic bombardment I was talking about, where you can put afflictions on people, it's going to be this one here, part of the Mortarian's hammer. At the start of the battle round, select a number of enemy units more than 12 inches away from every model from your army that's on the battlefield until the end of the next battle round. Those enemy units are inflicted. So you get free inflicted points for just being away from enemy units. You get him sick, you punch him the next turn. It's pretty good. This looks like a fun detachment rule. Um, this is going to go for the same thing. It's going to be the Eyes Infliction enhancement that goes on your heroes. Ranged weapons equipped by models in the Bear's army have the Ignore Cover ability while targeting an afflicted unit, so you don't have a -1 to hit. And then Front of Filth here. Um, this looks pretty nasty for 1 CP. You basically give assault keyword to units. Flyborn Host seems more fun to me because you can put enhancements that just give your unit. Um, assault, but in a unit with the affliction synergy, this looks pretty solid. I don't know, AJ, what do you think?
I think, like, personally, I think this detachment is very fun, but I mean, I don't have much to really add that you haven't already said here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I'm more curious about the next detachment that we're gonna be
Yeah,
talking about
your
here.
Poxwalker horde.
The Poxwalker Horde.
Yeah.
I know you especially were loving this when you saw this,
Mm-hmm.
and I will admit I think this is a fun and goofy one here, and I appreciate the ones that are fun and goofy. So I think this is a really fun. The numberless horde is the Poxwalker Horde in your command phase in each of the following battle rounds, depending on your chosen battle size. So 1,000 points, 2,000 points, 3,000 points here. You get to add a new Poxwalker unit with a starting strength of 10 to your army. So, on
Not
battle
just to your
rounds
army,
2
but
and
you
3.
get to put in strategic reserves. So you get the deep. You get to. You just get to plop these down on the board.
That's very true.
Um.
So,
Sorry.
again, so for battle rounds 2 and 3, you get to add in a new Boxwalkers on Strike Force or your 2,000 points games 2, 3, and 4. And on your 3,000 points games, you can add in a new squad of Boxwalkers on 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, I really think this is fun. I like this a lot. And mind you, you also get the enhancement here,
That's
which
gonna be
is,
so nutty, dude. Holy shit.
which again, that enhancement, which also, again, bring this up with the knight with the Blightbringer here. While the bearer is leading a Poxwalker unit, add one to the objective control. So putting that with Typhus and putting that at the objective marker in the
That's a.
middle of
That's
no
a.
man's land there
You
with
put
a
this in a
20-man
20 blob.
squad.
You put this in a 20 blob. 20 blob, AJ. That's 20 OC.
That's the beauty of it. I feel that's why I'm saying
Or
Typhus
is it
and the
40 OC? What do
ooh,
Poxwalkers
ooh.
have? Oh my god.
Poxwalkers have one OC
Yeah, so you're
each.
adding one additional OC each. That's a 40 OC unit.
Wait, is it one OC each or is it just one
Add one
OC
to the
total
objective
control?
control characteristics of the models in that unit.
Ooh, yeah,
Yikes.
okay.
Okay.
So yeah, again, I'm just gonna say this right here, right now. If you haven't already bought a Noxus Blightbringer, buy a Noxus Blightbringer. I swear to God,
Yeah, go have
I
fun,
think
bro.
that
Those are only available in the Sons of Mortarion package, though, bro. Those are gonna be sold out forever.
I know, but I'm sure people will be like saying, like using either Chaos Lords and Terminator armor there to just say like, hey, look at the Blightbringer. But I'm just saying though, I feel like having that with Typhus and then that 20-man blob, putting that right in the middle of no man land, if you can manage that, you are going to be set.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
You're really going to
There's
be
some
really good.
other like detachments which I think we should probably go through right now because AJ, do you see what I'm seeing on my screen?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
All right. Um, Sweet. So this is gonna be all the leaked attachments. So we got the Virulent Vectorum. Um, if you control an objective marker at the end of your command phase and a Death Guard unit from your army is excluding battle shocks with the range of that objective marker. Okay. Um, I think this is just sticky objectives. Is this not? Am I reading
This
this
does
right?
sound like sticky objectives.
Until like the level of control over that objective you control until your opponent's level of control over the objective marker is greater than yours at the end of the phase. In addition, you lose control of that objective marker. It has an Urgle's gift ability as if it was a death card. Yeah, so this is just giving this is sticky objectives. Um some of these enhancements are kinda whoa. Demon Weapon of Nurgle. For enhancement, each time a bearer makes a melee attack and an unmodified roll of 5 up scores a crit hit. Uh, these look pretty good. This looks like a fun detachment. I don't know, AJ, any thoughts? This is just like sticky objectives. So they're taking the sticky objectives from Plague Company and throwing it on its own detachment. Um, oh, this is what he was talking about. Putrid Detonation. One command point. It just blows up your fucking unit. And any units that blow up are inflected. Wow. Wow. How do you feel about that?
Ah,
How do you feel about me sending suicide bombers into your front lines?
you know what? Not surprising for Death Guard to do that. I will say, I don't think you're going to be using much of this though, because even with the buffs that you got for movement, where things are still moving a little bit faster than before, instead of 4 inches,
I'm
it's
pretty
five
sure you
inches.
would just use this to auto suicide Typhus or Mortarion when he's on one wound.
I guess.
Because
I feel like
Typhus
that's the
is
only thing that
Typhus
it
because
needs.
Mortarion's D6 mortals, and you just take um. It says mortal wounds are just automatically inflicted, so like this is just a fuck ton of mortal wounds.
I mean, I'm not going to deny that. I'm just saying though, is that for your standard, plague marines here, you're still not like really hauling ass with this. This is still something that you are kind of holding off on to moving here, and we'll see how it kind of reacts as these go on, because mind you, GW is kind of known for whatever is in the back of the book for points is not going to be on the point value for long. So we'll see after a week this drops if point values go up or if they go down, or even if they stay the same. I doubt that most of this will stay the same. I bet that most of this will go up. So it'll be interesting to see if people will actually like take hand and just have plague marines that are just bombs.
Yeah.
They were made in a
Well, no,
factory.
it's Death
A
Guard vehicles
bomb
or Death Guard
factory.
monsters.
I guess. Still though.
Yeah, but that means my rhinos go wee. Pow. Disgusting resilience still at 2 command points. Useless. What else we got
Um,
here? We got Mortarion's hammer. I think we talked about this one already. Um, Champions of Contagion. At the start of the battle round, you can select one of the plagues listed in Nurgle's gift. Yeah, this is the one where you get to switch the contagion buffs that you get in your army's rules, which is kind of nice. Um,
I don't have. I don't know if there's much more. I don't have much more to really add
this is
when it
this is
comes.
the demon one, the Telebrand Summoner.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, we already kind of gave our opinion on how we feel about that, because
Yeah.
honestly, they really need to really rework on how they're treating demons. I feel like demons really.
It gives your it looks like your demons get your army rules now though.
That makes sense. I'm just still saying it though, is that like I don't
Oh, they changed
understand.
it. We were wrong. I knew we were fucking wrong.
Hmm.
Incursion is 500 points, Strike Force is 1000, Onslaught is 15,000 points.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you get to bring 1,000 points of demons now.
Okay, that's a little bit better.
I'm gonna go edit that in when we
Fair.
post
Is
this.
that yeah? We'll edit that out.
Yeah.
We'll edit our little rant out at the beginning here.
I mean, this is it just all looks good. We talked about the Scramble Rod Victoria, Deathlord's Chosen. In your opponent's command phase, roll 2d6 for each afflicted enemy unit, subtracting 1 from the result. The units below have strength. The result is 6 or less, then enemy suffers d3 wounds. This is just fucking mortal damage on top of mortal damage.
I will still say, regardless though, I really do like the numberless horde. I still think that's the best. Well, my personal favorite, I guess. I shouldn't say the best, because the best kind of. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Final
No, no,
thoughts.
no.
Final
You're good.
thoughts.
Keep talking. You're good.
I don't know, but yeah, I think the numberless horde is probably gotta be. It would be like the one I would run the most. I find like stuff like that where it's a little bit more goofy and more stuff like that. I find that stuff more fun.
Yeah, I just gotta
I
find
find that.
a detachment that'll be my home. This is gonna be the works
Yeah.
cited page for everything that's posted. This will be posted down below.
Mhm.
Final thoughts on the Codex. It's good. This is a good
I was
Codex.
gonna say I
There'll be
love the
changes
fact that
to the
everything got a.
foul. Oh no, you're good.
No, no, no. I like that everything got a toughness bonus. I think that's great. I am a little bit surprised though that you guys got movement buffs as well for most of your infantry
It's
stuff.
just 1 inch, man. Come on. I
I
mean,
know
that's a
it's
lot.
one
You're
inch,
right. You're
but
right. 1 inch is huge.
But yeah, like considering like your Death Route Terminators now are moving 5 inches and have toughness 7, same with the like the Blight Lords, that's shocking to me because like that is a hell of a lot of move. They're moving as fast as are they moving as fast as Plague Marines? Plague Mar-
They are.
Yeah, that is
That's still only moving five
wild
though,
to
man.
me
Like
at
it's
least.
like it's an appropriate change. The
I
point
do think
costs are
it's
going up.
appropriate.
They should move a little bit faster.
I I don't know. I feel like if you're bringing your toughness up, I guess from in my opinion, I guess I didn't think that they were gonna actually bring up the movement. I figured they would do one or the other and not both. But otherwise, I really don't have much else. I will say I think they're trying to push out the Blight Lord, which is interesting because they don't sell that model as well as a bunch of other models that are for Death Guard for some reason.
What do
I
you mean
don't
by the
know.
Blight Lord?
Well, I thought you just said the Blight Lord's not sold. Is the Blight Lord sold separately?
You're talking about the Lord of Contagion?
No, the Noxious Blight Lord.
Oh, the Noxious Blight Bringer.
Yeah, Nightbringer. Sorry, yeah,
I don't think
Brightbringer.
they're changing that to drive sales. I think they're changing it because Death Guard has a bajillion fucking heroes, and for most of 10th edition, they didn't do anything. So I think they're
I
just
mean,
giving it
fair
utility.
enough.
It's just
But
gonna be
that
hard to get
ability
your.
and
It's
then
just
giving
gonna be
it,
hard to get your hands on it because it's only available in the Sons of Mortarion pack, and that's always gonna be out of sale. That's always out of sale, and it's gonna be more. Sorry, always out of stock, and it's gonna be even more out of stock now that
yeah, now that the not only is the detachment the numberless horde, but just in general, like throwing that in with Typhus as I've kind of like talked on and on about it, is going to make it really like something that ran a lot with Poxwalkers.
absolutely.
I feel like the only thing I'm a little surprised though about some things that didn't really get a whole lot of love, like the Icon Bearer. I kind of am a little bit surprised that the Icon Bearer didn't get much because as the rumors said, it was supposed to get something like how the Hellbrute had.
Yeah, most of
But
the rumors ended up being true. Everyone, everything
yeah,
is
no,
pretty
the
much
the rumors.
the rumors are 100% to be confirmed.
Hmm.
Um,
I
it's
mean,
yeah, it's pretty everything except for the icon bear. It said May. So I'm gonna say these rumors were basically spot fucking on.
yeah, I think honestly, like overall, this is a major win for Death Guard. I mean, I have really nothing to say with overall. Like, I would say it's like 90% positive here.
Hmm.
I mean, your points values really didn't go up all that much, maybe 10 points each. And I know this is kind of a late-ish edition thing. This is like the last half of the edition now. So obviously, like not much was got to change points wise, but still, I guess I'm a little surprised that it wasn't more like like tens and twenties across the board.
Hmm. No, I'm happy. I'm excited to get my pre-order done this Saturday, and I think we're gonna call that wraps here. So thank you for everyone for tuning in for this very long episode of the Warhammer Enjoyer podcast. Uh, Me and AJ, thank you for coming out and listening to us yap, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye
Bye bye.
bye.